What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 1 of Wallet Watch. I'm your host, Brian McCauley. God, I am so excited about what we had going on today. I had the pleasure of bringing on two rock stars, dynamic duo, Buck and Allie Wise. If you guys don't know who they are, they've rubbed shoulders with like Grant Cardone, Ryan Serhant. I mean, you name it, they've done it. They are experts in the digital space. They are the king and the queen of the personal branding arena. You know, this podcast just gave me so much insight on how to do it right, on how to up my personal game. It's just so impactful when people are professionals. They know what they're doing. They're leading the space. You can see it in their energy. You can see it in their online content, what it will do to supercharge you in the future to get your entrepreneurial game and your digital game on point. So personal branding 101 with the best. Can't wait. You guys check it out. It's so awesome. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Wallet Watch. I am your host, Brian McCauley. Appreciate you tuning in. So just a friendly reminder about why we're doing this platform. Wallet Watch is just a financial and educational piece that I'm trying to make sure that everybody out there understands the details in the game on how to do it. Mortgage, real estate, all things financial. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate all the love and support. It's been an incredible year so far, personally and professionally. A lot of business projects in the works. From a personal standpoint, it's been really good. Family and I spent a little time in the Bahamas, swimming with the sharks, a little spring break action, kind of breaking away from their grind, which is good. And then my kiddo, 17, starting to shape into a man, college applications, just watching him grow into himself. So it's been a lot of fun. Really excited about that. So as we kind of transition in the middle of the year, we'll see where he goes. Maybe Baylor, maybe Texas Tech, who knows? But we'll let him kind of make his own decision. So anyhow, enough about me. Let's talk about why we're really here. Today, I've got the honor and the privilege and the opportunity to welcome to the show all the way from Arizona, Buck and Allie Wise. Appreciate you guys joining us.
Thank you, man. It's
What
good
an
to be
intro.
here.
Cool.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this is gonna be the best podcast you've ever created.
Let's do it.
Oh, setting the bar high.
And if it isn't by the end of the podcast, I'll just Will Smith you to get the ratings.
That's it. Ready to do it. That way we'll go viral one way or the other, right?
Just go right for it.
Nice, man. I love it. I love it. Whatever it takes.
Hey, thanks for having us here. We really appreciate it. I know we connected through mutual friends,
Right.
But like it's just been the short time we've known each other. I can just tell you're good people.
Yeah, likewise, man. I appreciate
So I appreciate it. Yeah.
Welcome to Dallas. Curious, you guys been here 24 hours. How many cowboy hats have you seen?
How many?
Oh, man. They must be hiding behind some tinted windows on those big trucks.
Right?
Yeah.
Because none.
Not yet. No, we haven't spent enough time in the city, but I know they exist.
Yeah.
I know there's cowboy hats here.
It's funny. Texas, has this like misnomer when people aren't from here. They think we like roll to work on our horses and have like guns on our hips and
Yep.
chew. And I'm like, dude, in Dallas, you probably will get skinny ties and spray tans.
No
way
question.
more than you get cowboy hats.
I tell this statistic. So I spent time in Dallas. I actually did radio in Dallas. I was at iHeartRadio for
Nice.
like 1 year back when Kid Craddock was here. God rest his soul. But there's a stat from back then. I don't know if it's still true today. This was 10 years ago. More plastic surgery in Dallas than Los Angeles.
I
That was
love
the stat 10 years ago. So I can, there is this sort of misconception. But there is Dallas and then there's Fort Worth.
For sure.
Which is different.
For sure.
You know.
The plastic surgery thing, I get it. I
Yeah.
don't even recognize anybody in the street anymore. It's not because they're getting old, it's because their face is like changing all the way.
Yeah.
Like, I think I recognize you.
Yeah, yeah.
So, well, nice, man. So how's life been treating you guys so far this year?
Great.
It's awesome.
It's
Good?
great.
Yeah, it's, Allie's been going through a transformation. I'll let her tell her story, but
Yeah.
she's really been blowing up the real estate game, which is obviously how we connected with you. And when I saw what Allie was doing and I saw the success that she was having, and she was like, I need your help. I want you to help build this with me. And I was busy. I was the CMO at Grant Cardone's business management company
Right.
called Cardone Ventures. And I finally, after 3 years, I said, hey, this opportunity is so big. Real estate's growing so fast. I want to be a part of this with her. So, husband and wife real estate team helping agents across the country absolutely crush their micro markets. And there's no better market to be in right now than Dallas.
Dude, That's good.
No
That's
question.
Awesome. You guys are a dynamic duo and just crushing it with the power couple game.
Thank you.
Little bit before we get into it, for the audience, for people that aren't aware of y'all's story, tell them a little bit about you guys personally, professionally, how long you've been together, kiddos, all that game, starting with you.
Do it. man.
15 years, 5 states, 7 houses, 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a partridge in a pear tree.
So true.
Just barely getting started.
Oh, that's right. Just starting.
I mean, we both put in our time in corporate America, big time, like you said. He was with iHeart, CBS, NBC, not necessarily in that order, but I did corporate real estate, commercial real estate for a very long time. I worked in the retail space for Nike, Columbia Sportswear, American Eagle Outfitters, and that's where I fell in love with real estate and had the opportunity to make those connections, but not so much on a personal level. And it was the personal aspect of those relationships that I was ultimately seeking.
That and you hit the ceiling. We both hit the corporate ceiling.
Yeah.
The next step for her, if she wanted to continue in real estate in the corporate world, was to become a lawyer. She had to become something legal to get to the next step.
Yeah, which I mean, I was basically a paralegal without a paralegal. But I love what I did. I love the relationships I made. And that was kind of my segue out of the corporate real estate space into the residential real estate space.
Wow.
And I actually overlapped the two for a year. I thought, why not add one more thing to my plate with a husband who travels, 3 kids, a baby who I was still nursing at the time.
You got to give credit to your boss too, because we were just talking about this yesterday. It's really interesting. You hear people's success stories, and then they always give like a credit, like John Maxwell changed my life, or like Grant Cardone, or Tony Robbins, or so. But like, there's these people in your life that actually are the milestone or the thing that created this massive shift.
Yep.
And it was, what did your boss say to you at the time at Columbia Sportswear?
Yeah, he told me, you'll be great in real estate. And I said, thanks.
Yeah.
I know.
Kind of
And
opened her mind to the
went
idea,
and
I know, I'm ready.
got licensed and came back, and I said, well, I did a thing.
Yeah.
I came back from maternity leave, and he's like, man, I knew it. He's like,
But you made more in, what was the stat? More in a quarter?
I made more in a quarter than I did in a year. at my
annual
corporate.
salary. I mean, no brainer.
I was content. I had 401k and benefits and
you don't know what you don't
all
know.
the great things.
And then you hit a home run. The rest is
Yeah.
history. And you're like, here I go.
That was it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so how'd y'all meet?
You really want to know?
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
She was a stalker.
No.
I was on the radio.
No.
Funny. Same story with me and my wife. Really? No, not at all. Just kidding, honey. I love
She
you.
claims she wasn't a stalker, but
No.
I'm going to let your listeners and your viewers be the judge.
Okay.
I was on the radio. This was Z100 KKRZ Portland. This is an iHeart radio station in Portland, Oregon. She and I went out in a group setting on a date. We started dating.
Okay.
I'm 3 or 4 dates in. She claims, I didn't even know you were on the radio. I didn't. Come to find out, she had.
I knew you were on the radio.
Death stares.
I knew. I did know.
Because you said someone told you. She had called in on the show
2 years prior.
2 years prior.
I was in
But
college.
she didn't know.
I didn't know what I had for dinner the night before, let alone calling in to request a song.
No, but it
2
was
years prior.
It was I give her a hard time because she always says she didn't know. But
just strokes his ego.
We
so
did it.
I let
You'll
him-
never live that down. He knows you know. He made an impact on you when you called
Seriously,
in. Let him
seriously.
think that. Guys like that. Let us think that.
Well, it might be dating us, but we didn't meet through MySpace, but we met because of MySpace. So there were
For those out there that aren't aware, pre-Instagram, TikTok, Facebook,
Yeah.
the OG was MySpace.
Tom,
That's right.
we love Tom.
Everybody's best friend,
Yep.
#1 dude in your
Yep.
top 10.
Yep.
MySpace, wow.
Tom
Pretty
hooked
cool.
us up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rest is history. Just
Yeah.
flying by the seat of our pants from there. So so my background's traditional media,
Okay.
TV and radio. I was 17 years old, moved to Tampa, Florida, worked for the hottest CHR radio station in the country. And basically, a lot of people didn't know this. iHeart, the largest radio company in the world.
Right.
At the time, the CHR stands for Contemporary Hit Radio. It's top 40. Think Casey Kasem, Rick Dees, all those things.
Yeah.
Ryan Seacrest now, if you're younger. So iHeart ran all their top 40. Their like boot camp for top 40 was out of Tampa, Florida. A lot of people didn't know that. But that's where top 40 had the biggest battles and wars. Bubba the Love Sponge was there. Like all these like big top 40 radio stars were there. A lot of great talent came out of that market. So the boss was like, where do you want to go? And I was like, this is my first show. Like I was 20 years old. He goes, you can go West Palm Beach or you can go Las Vegas. Where do you want to go? So I chose Vegas.
Okay.
Preacher kid in
He
Vegas.
had also just turned 21, so I mean,
Yeah.
it was a no-brainer.
So-
21 in Vegas.
I'm legal now. I got to roll.
Yeah, exactly. So got that out of my system. Went to Vegas and basically crafted the skill of connecting community, crafted the skill of telling stories, crafted the skill of call to actions, creating emotion in large groups of people. That was like the creative side of what I was doing.
Right.
But I noticed this big issue, which was digital was emerging. The Facebook, you had to have a college email address.
Correct.
Right? MySpace and all these other platforms started to come out, and traditional media was very scared of digital.
Okay.
They were like, they're going to steal our marketing dollars. They're going to take away from our audience. They're going to, instead of thinking, how do we use them together?
Right.
So I started an agency where I knew there was a way to take digital and use it to drive occasions back to traditional media. So I started working for CBS Radio. I had my own agency. My first client was the Detroit Tigers. Wow. I worked with Valvoline Oil. I worked with was it Chevy Racing. I just got a bunch of clients. But what I really learned at that time was how to build a business. Okay. Because I was thrown in. I wasn't like, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I thought I was a creative. If you use the word salesperson with me, I was like, no, I'm a creative. I'm not a salesperson.
Right.
I never looked at myself that way. And so it was through building that agency that I got that experience of hiring people. Like Allie was running finances for us in the middle of the night, wondering, did we even make money this year when we were doing taxes? Like all those things that every business owner struggles with. And I use that comparison because so many real estate agents or people in the lending space, they don't think of themselves as business owners.
Of course.
And that's like
Or salespeople.
Yeah,
Correct.
or salespeople. And so that was sort of my transformation is starting that agency. And from there, if you do follow like a John Maxwell law of the lid, I knew I needed to know more and experience. This little Midwest agency was cute.
Right.
And it gave me the business experience, but I knew I needed to learn more and do more. And so I did end up going back to Portland, which is where Allie's from, because she got a job in real estate at Nike. And so I said, I'm going to work at Nike. So I just jammed my foot in the door over and over and over. I was this like TV radio guy with agency experience. And they're like, what do you want to do? Like no one hires. That was like one of my learning lessons at the time. Nobody hires because you're good at everything.
Right.
That's not in the corporate space. They hire because you're good at one thing, really good at one thing. And so I ultimately became a strategist. And so I worked at Nike Running, Nike Golf, Nike Women.
Yeah.
Starbucks.
Spent some time at Starbucks on the agency side. And so putting together campaigns for Frappuccino, Pumpkin Spice Latte. Got my big Fortune 500 experience. So now I know small business, me and her up till midnight trying to figure out taxes.
Yep.
And then running multi-million-dollar campaigns,
Right.
big ships moving very slowly in the port.
Sick.
Yeah,
coffee.
exactly
And
for
the
a
amount
coffee.
of time and money that goes into taking
Oh
a
man, it's
photo
ridiculous
of a coffee.
of a pumpkin spice latte or a frappuccino. You put the whipped cream on top. First of all, the cup's filled with ice. Nobody knows this because that keeps the form of the.
Teach us some game that we don't know, so now
they
we'll look at everything differently.
So they
every
put
day.
ice in the cup, and then the whipped cream has 15 seconds. Wipe it off. We do it again every 15 seconds. You do a full day shoot on a frappuccino. That's a $20,000 shoot with about 19 people.
There's so much involved in everything that people don't know.
It's ridiculous.
If you're not on the inside and you don't know the game, you
Yeah.
just see it like I see it, which
Yeah.
is cup of coffee, commercial, whatever, and you're like, dude, the pieces on that.
Well, so here's an interesting point to that. When I joined Grant Cardone's organization and I started working at Cardone Ventures, being in that element taught me what not to do, taught me how to save money, how to be nimble, where there's just so much exuberance in the corporate space. People are hiding under budgets in the corporate space. People are just throwing money out frivolously. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Frivolously.
Did I say it right?
Frivolously.
Okay. She's smarter than I am.
We'll edit that.
So yeah, just edit. Put a bleep on there. But it is, and so Grant doesn't operate that way. Grant operates in a do or die, fail fast, get it wrong to get it right, and just go. Like I remember my first week there. It's like, let's put this campaign together. I think we'll launch it, and he's like, launch it today. I'm like, this is a 2-month. Launch it today.
So just all gas,
Figure it
no
out.
brakes.
Figure
if
it
you
out.
Crash the car, cool. I learned. Fix it. Get up. Put it back on the track.
That's exactly it. Yeah. And so, I think we operate somewhere in between there. Now, Allie's got Weiss Property Group. She's got 30 agents in how many states?
10.
10 states. And, we're taking all of her experience, obviously, on the real estate customer service sales side. and all my experience on the marketing content creation side.
Yeah.
And so we think we're a pretty good duo. I think we make a pretty good team.
You guys have done incredible. I'm looking at
Thank
your
you,
stuff
man.
online. I wanna dig into this. This is the good stuff and the meat and potatoes I want to unpack with you guys because obviously it attracted me. I'm creeping online, look at all your stuff, and so you guys have done such a good job, individually and collectively with the personal branding. I want you guys to talk about like, at what point did you guys turn the corner on the optic and was like, hey, the personal branding game needs to elevate, but also, like you mentioned earlier, the competition, real estate space, lending space. I mean, the bar is so low.
Yeah.
Somebody gets that light bulb in their head and recognizes this is how it should be done. They kick open the door, which you guys have done. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, for me, it was honestly COVID. COVID hit literally like the day the world shut down and everyone was like, don't leave your house for 2 weeks or you're going to die. It was that exact 2 weeks where our baby at the time, when she was napping every single day, I would go lock myself in our home office and just pull my phone out in front of my face, selfie after selfie. And I'm not kidding you, anywhere between 47 to 62 times, I would recut the same thing
Right.
over and over and over. Just whether it was the exact same wording to get comfortable with what I was saying,
Yeah.
maybe to get a different angle on myself, just to feel better about it, have it feel more personable. And I'd take it back to him and to Buck, and he'd be like, do it again. And here's why. He'd give me this constructive criticism, like, I like what you said at the end, but say that first. Like, that's the catch. And then,
So first of all, she's talking about content creation specifically, which is something I've done my entire life. And by the way, what I used to do in content creation isn't the same way we do content creation today. So the first thing is anybody who's an expert, if they're not continuously learning and studying, then it doesn't matter how much experience they have because the game changes so much.
Sure.
When TikTok came out, anybody that was making YouTube videos had to relearn how to create content that way, right? So my past experience gives some insight into that. But from a personal brand standpoint, what Allie was doing when she locked herself in that room and tried to create this perfect piece of content, which now she does it. She fails much faster. Now she just goes quickly.
Yeah.
She was in a learning phase and just getting comfortable seeing herself in front of a camera. But really what it is it's about that human connection.
Yep.
It's about the perception, because in marketing, we always say perception is reality.
Yeah.
And so whatever somebody thinks they see must be true. And so if they don't see you at all, they must think that you don't exist or you don't do business. And so consistency is key on your personal brand. What you say, how you say it. There is an art, there is a science to it. I would rather someone, as they create their personal brand, I would rather you create and get it all wrong, but do it consistently than not try to do it at all. Because it's the only way you're going to get better. I kind of equate it to swimming. Almost everyone I meet knows how to swim.
Right.
Every now and then somebody doesn't. I'm like, well, this analogy is not going to work for you. But for the most part, everybody knows how to swim. And everybody remembers those first few days when you were on the kickboard at the YMCA and your mom's making you blow bubbles and you're hanging on to the side and you didn't want to get off the first step. And then you went to the second step. And you remember, you have like vivid memories as a kid when you the first time you jumped in the deep end and the first time you could touch the bottom, it was a huge deal. And so now you always ask the question to real estate agents or someone that wants to build a personal brand, create a lot of content, tell their story, connect with more people. Would you jump in a pool today? And before you do it, what would you think about? You don't think of anything. Second nature, because it's muscle memory and you've done it so many times. All the mechanics work the way they're supposed to for you to go from point A to point B, hold your breath, do whatever you have to do. Content creation is the same way. And so that's why we get repetition, and that's why we're creating content constantly, so that it just becomes second nature. But personal branding is important because it is the key organic driver to connection. And really the only way to grow a business and create more impact and more revenue is to connect with more people.
Yeah.
So there's just, there's the hard way and there's the smart way. I meet a lot of legacy real estate agents that are successful, but they refuse to do the content creation piece.
there was a huge opportunity in my market at the time. I was in Portland, Vancouver, and nobody was doing anything. Male, female, young, old, experienced, inexperienced, nobody was doing anything on social. So he was like, this is your opportunity to get out there.
By the way, if you're in the Portland market right now, still an opportunity. There's like two people in that entire market making content. Like there's such a big opportunity.
And it was also the same time I started my mentorship program with Ryan Serhant. And just seeing how authentic he is and how much fun it is. And he is the same person, whether he's in front of the camera, behind the camera with, I think his wife. I mean, I'm assuming he's the same with his wife as he is with his team and his clients. Like, he's just very energetic and very outgoing and very like, here's me. This is, what you see is what you get. This is Ryan Serhant.
Well, and the reason why she's talking about authenticity is because authenticity gives you credibility. Credibility gives you trust. Right. So as you build a personal brand, everybody just says, how do I get, okay, great. Yeah, I don't want to do any content. How do I get more deals?
Right.
Okay, now I've got a pipeline. How do I convert them? It's trust.
Yep.
Like the number one way to create conversion is trust. And so that's why she talks about authenticity and how her mentor was creating content in a real raw way. And so Allie is just like, I can vouch for the fact that when she's talking on a podcast or on a YouTube or in a video or a live stream or whatever it is, you get the same energy, you get the same attitude on camera, off camera. And I believe consumers are smart.
For sure.
And the reason I say that is because we are all consumers and we're smart. So we know when we smell BS, therefore everyone else that might be watching this right now, they can smell BS.
Right.
And so I believe Allie, without all the, I have 25 years of content making experience, I can't teach her authenticity. Right. You can't teach, you either have the ability, the muscle memory to create it or not. And Allie gets on and she's just herself. And I believe that is single-handedly, without any big automated tech stack services. Like, she didn't have some massive, I didn't build it.
Yeah.
She wanted to build some big operational system, but it was just her and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. And she's got 30 agents in 6 months.
And 60% of those agents I've never met in person. They found me on Instagram. They followed what I did, and they followed who I was connected to and the networks I was in. And they were like, I want to be a part of that in some way, shape, or form.
And I see it with two pieces. You mentioned this earlier about trust. And so people usually work with you because they like you and they trust you. Yep. The likability, if you're not face-to-face, hanging out, shaking hands all day, is the digital component of you.
True.
But they can sniff when it's staged and they can sniff when it's real.
Yep.
The more you're continual, the more you connect, the more you can see real life and professional.
No question.
That energy and connection becomes real.
Yep.
And then they feel like they can connect with you. They can be open, getting everything going. Your COVID deal is really, really interesting because I asked you how you got started. I had a similar feel on that in the mortgage space when everybody was like, stay home, you're not essential, we don't know what we're going to do.
You went all in.
Correct.
Yeah.
I went all in on the technology piece. So I got major into Salesforce workflow rules and texting because I was like, gosh, we got to connect in another way.
Yeah.
But the business spiked really quick and I had to help our teammates over communicate and create space.
Nice.
So I did that piece and then I went into the content piece of I've got to do some stuff.
Yeah.
And to her point, I started with I don't like my nose. I stutter too much.
Oh man.
What about this
You
thing?
can get
And people freak out.
Yeah.
And then eventually, literally one of my first coaches, Lisa Wells, shout out to Lisa, she was like, just shoot it. Go.
Yeah.
No one's looking at your collar. No one's looking at your booger. Just
keep
it moving.
Yeah.
Keep it going, which was the genesis of it. And that's good that everybody rolls through that because I think some people think it's just all good.
Yeah.
And it's not. It takes a minute and it's just like anything else. The memory gets you fluid and then you start to deliver and connect and you realize, dude, it's not perfection. It's progress.
That's it.
Just do your best to hit the mark, keep it going. Yep. You guys have done an awesome job with that.
Thank you, man.
That was one of the things looking at y'all stuff. I was like, I like these people.
Thank you, dude.
See your kiddos, see your connection.
Put it all out
energy.
there, man.
Yeah.
It's great. Everybody wants to see. It's really interesting. People want to see all that stuff. They do. They want it because they want to know you. They want to know the real you. If you're just running ads all day, if you're just, hey, if you're looking to buy or sell a house, it's nobody, that's not what's going to make the connection.
No.
You got to tell the why. You got to talk about why you do what you do. And if that's your kids, then that's what you're talking about, why it's exciting. Right. Now, you have to tie in when you build a personal brand. You have to think about your branding and the brand house and the things inside of that. You have to think about your value propositions, why you're different, the core competitive differentiator. You have to think about your pillars. You have to think about the attributes, the way you talk, the way you feel, the way they resonate with you. Are you attracting the personas that you're trying to attract?
Right.
There's all these technical things, but to your point, you got to get out there and just tell your story. If all you did was tell your story, you'll have more success than you did today. So one of my mentors obviously is Grant Cardone. I used to teach marketing workshops, and he would always come in the room, say hi to everybody while I was teaching these marketing workshops. And he would always he was so short and sweet, but would deliver more impact than I could do in 2 hours.
Right.
And he would always ask the question, are you guys learning from Buck today? Yeah. Great. Hey, 90% of this room is going to fail. 90% of this room is going to walk out of these doors. It doesn't matter what Buck's teaching you, you're going to fail. Because the difference between success and failure is the level of effort that you're willing to put into anything that you do.
Sure.
And so that was the truth. It's like all this stuff, personas and brand house and attributes and differentiators, and you go look at your competitors, and people are taking notes, and then they walk out and they're like, yeah, but I'm not doing that.
Right.
You know, they won't put the effort into the thing they actually have to do. And
it's like fitness. We all know
Yeah.
what the deal is. But
Yeah.
if I don't get up and go to the gym and
Yeah.
do the sit-ups and push-ups and get it all done,
Yeah.
it's just a plan. You got to take action.
that's why I would challenge anyone watching this or listening to this right now. I like to do this. If you're listening and you're like, you know we're right, you know you need to do more, you want to learn, you want to continue, here's the step that you need to take. They need to tag you right now on Instagram. What's your Instagram?
Dallas Mortgage Man.
At Dallas More. Talk about personal branding. At Dallas Mortgage Man, okay?
The guy.
You need to tag him on Instagram right now as you're watching or listening to this. Grab your phone right now and tag it, and I want you to share it as a testament to the fact that you're committed, as a testament to the fact that you want to develop relationships with people who are high performers like Brian. Like, I always like to push the audience, just say, hey, don't just listen to this, like actually do something about it. Tag them on Instagram right now and show them.
Much love.
Yeah.
Good action item for the audience. And follow these folks too and support them and love on them as well. Talk to me about, since you guys have done the branding thing, branding will elevate and top grade clients over time and business partners, right? So talk to me about what it's done from a quality and attracting quality and clients and partners standpoint over time, because they see what you're about and they see you moving up the chain.
Oh, yeah, sure. Do you want to take this or do you want me to take it?
Both of you, one of you.
Go for it.
Well, I think our answers are similar but different.
I've had some epiphanies recently, but go ahead. You go ahead.
I think and this is going to go with anything in life, there's a certain level of success that you hit, and people either are your biggest cheerleader or they're threatened by you. And I think that you start to see who those people are and how they're threatened by you and in what ways, or how they champion you and in what ways. And it's kind of like, I could use the same reference for like our wedding and the women who stood beside me as my bridesmaids. I don't talk to any of them anymore. It's sad, but it's true.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, you grew as a
we
person.
grow up and they grow up and we go separate ways.
Sure.
And
You grew different directions.
you know, I got married before some of them and had kids long before some of them, and you know, just different things. So you go a different way and you figure it out, right? There's people who support you and there's people who don't because they're threatened by you or they want what you have. Maybe it's envy, maybe it's jealousy. I think one of the things that, was it Grant that said this to you a couple years ago, that if you don't have was it Grant that said that if you don't
you're not
have
doing
haters,
something
you're
right.
not doing something right?
Yeah, if you don't have haters. But I think what I would add to that, all of that is true. I've watched, Allie and I have grown, and, you know, Grant has this exercise where you go on your phone. Anybody that doesn't grow with you, you delete them out of your phone. You have to delete 5 people right now. Pull out your phone. 5 people, delete them out of there, right? If they're not growing with you.
Yeah.
To your point, as we develop our personal brand and we've grown and our career's grown, you attract, law of magnetism, you attract what you're putting out.
Yeah.
So as we put out bigger goals, as we put out more performance, we're attracting people who want that. And, you know, it's interesting because at Cardone Ventures, our CEO is Brandon Dawson. Something he's really good at is somebody who, you know, he always says this: you can't motivate someone. You can inspire them, but you can't motivate them. They have to motivate themselves. You can inspire them, but you can't motivate them. I've learned that I love the attraction of people who want to win. And I have a really tough time, and I'm still fighting with it. I don't know that I have an answer. Somebody that doesn't want to win, but they're bouncing into the eco a little. They're bouncing, whether it be someone close or someone externally, and somehow they're in here. I don't take it as my responsibility to try to transform them into, no, you want this. Trust me, like, open your eyes. You want to see, like, I don't have, maybe it's my driver in me, my R3 assessment. It's like I just want to go.
Sure.
But like, I don't have the patience for someone that doesn't want more.
Sure,
I just don't. And so right now, that was a long answer for your
No,
question.
I get it.
Right now, we're really attracting people who want more. And I will bend over backwards for somebody that wants more.
No, I echo that. It's the same thing, man. People that have that buzz and that drive, you know, you want what's best for people, and then when they don't want it or don't do it, you wonder why.
Yeah.
And then the initial part is
fascinating.
Fix it.
It's fascinating.
Hey, you know, you have issues with this, do this, and it's a formula, and our brains operate that way because that's how we operate, which is if problem equals what solution, action plan, fix.
Yeah.
And when you see people that stub their toe here and there and they speak it, but they don't put it into play, it messes with you for a minute because you first try to fix and then you try to help fix and then they don't do.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I don't understand. This is how you change a spare tire. If it blows out and goes this side over here and this is it.
Yeah.
And they can't quite get past that component of it.
Yeah.
So it is a struggle, I think, personally and professionally. Like you mentioned, some friends.
It's
I've still
for
got
sure a
boys
struggle
that are
of
my
mine.
boys, but you know, 30 to 40 is a different game.
Yeah, to
People
leave
change
a
and they
little behind.
migrate.
Yeah.
And you don't purposely do it.
Right.
You don't purposely do it
No.
right, but it's like, you know, fill in the blank.
Yep.
Drake, DiCaprio, whoever you got. It's like as you move up, you don't intentionally leave people, but people don't go all the way up. And unfortunately, sometimes, you know, not everybody chants your name when you're making that move. And so it's, you know, it's a spot in life everybody has to get used to as they move up the ladder.
Yeah.
But it's real and everybody has to deal with it.
I would say to your point, two things that I've learned. One, I do have more understanding why they don't know how to change that tire. I have learned over the last few years.
Please tell me so I can learn how to do it.
Because I'm also an analyzer. So it would drive me crazy when somebody just didn't see the world the way I saw the world. And it really is when it boils down to it, you know, this is the old Jim Rohn. You make up the sum of the 5 people you spend your time with.
Totally.
It's totally conditioning. Yep. It's conditioning from childhood. It's conditioning from their mentors, their high school teachers, their gym coach, their parents. Oh my God, you meet their parents. They're drainers. They're like negative. They're like, of course they don't think the world.
And it's like a movie, and you go back and say, okay, this was the nature nurture package. This is the environment. Now I catch it and I get it. But not until you see the fullness of it do you realize that's why.
That's exactly it. Yeah. And so, you know, now that doesn't mean you can't change it.
Of course.
You know, and so if you think about our past, like, you know, I think we've evolved and it's because we've surrounded ourselves with people who've pushed us to evolve, you know, to extreme levels. And so it's been an opportunity for us. You know, we say this all the time because she said in the beginning, how many houses? 7 houses, 3
that we
kids.
personally bought and sold in like 5 different states.
Yeah.
It's
like 7 houses. We go back. So I did radio every 3 years. It's like military or religion. You move every 3 years.
Correct.
Unless you become a legend in a market like Kid Craddock was in Dallas. It's very rare that a radio talent would do that. So every 3 years, I'd go do a new show in a new market. We did 3 years in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
And we were in Detroit, Pennsylvania, Dallas, LA. We did a few stops. But we always compare the life we have now, traveling with the nanny and in the different cities and multiple homes in multiple cities. We always compare, like, remember in Pittsburgh when we would, like, on a Saturday
sit in our basement
and watch like HGTV and like, oh, we could do a garden like that. And like, what were we doing?
Wasting
years.
So much time.
Oh my God, if I could go back.
Right.
We didn't know. We were just doing the American thing.
Right.
You know, I thought radio was, my family, they're all teachers. God love teachers.
Yeah.
But like, you know, I was like, I'm a radio guy. Like I really busted out and did my own thing, you know? Like I had no idea that and who knew radio would become obsolete, by the way.
Yeah.
Like
I think just the last 2 years of our lives have been really pivotal, both
Probably.
personally and professionally.
Yeah.
I think especially, you know, being involved in the 10X network, just simply starting off with reading the 10X rule and
Be obsessed,
learning
be
how
average.
to and be obsessed and be average. And just I struggled big time with kind of what you're talking about. Fixing things. I want to help people and fix them, and when they don't, I'm like,
Sure.
But why? How? I gave you everything. Like, I can't do it for you, you know? And it's that consistency piece. Like, I didn't get more comfortable and confident and therefore consistent with all the social content if I didn't lock myself in a room for 2 weeks.
You can't
and
save
do it.
everyone. I tell Allie all the time, you can't save everyone. She will too. She'll try.
It's tough. The
Yeah.
struggle is real on a
Yeah.
different level. It's a good thing to have, but there's a dimension to where you got to cut it. and just say like, I've done my stuff here and there. And that's the balance of like giving and then knowing when to let the rope go, because it will pull you down into the swamp here and there and mess up here, which takes away from your family life, giving to the other people that actually want it, that are waiting like a sponge here and there.
No
You got
doubt.
to figure out that art and science of the who and the what.
Yep.
And I think everybody still struggles with it. It's just a matter of, to your point, repetition, wisdom, and you get better. You can identify those red flags or green flags the further you get down the path of people and the more you get in this business. So talk to me about the quality of clients went up. I know for a fact, you mentioned earlier, team growth, scaling. So outside of quality, talk to me about closing more deals. How has the business grown, expanded? What has that personal brand done from you online just to like get bigger wings and get out there?
Yeah. I mean, I tripled my business in 2020 when COVID hit.
Gosh,
I mean, I think a lot of that was thanks to COVID. I think COVID was a blessing in disguise.
But
for
you
a
were
lot
there
of
for the
us, but-
opportunity when it hit.
Yeah, but I did. I seized the opportunity. I wasn't going to let, wearing a mask or soaking my entire body in hand sanitizer stop me from
You remember
going to a showing.
Somebody said this the other day, and I was like, I totally forgot we used to. Do you remember when you get delivery, like grocery delivery, like that first 2 or 3 weeks, and you were wiping the milk carton down because somebody touched it to put it in the bag? Like,
we didn't know.
it was crazy.
I was opening my mail with latex gloves on.
Gloves on.
Dude, isn't that
Like,
scary?
Wild.
It's like stuff we saw in the movies and it became our life and you
Yeah.
didn't know and you got kiddos and you just like triple checking and
It's
then your
so
brain
crazy.
starts messing like, what about that spot on the couch? What about that
my
orange
God.
juice? And you just like beekeeper suit, overkill just to like,
100%.
and so COVID put you in a spot to where business wise, you
Yeah.
just started to take off whoosh.
Yeah, and I didn't have a team then. That was actually, I learned delegation that year as well. I was kind of the super mom, super wife, super self-independent realtor. I can do it all. Of course I can do it all. Why can't I do it all? I can do the laundry and clean the house and cook all the meals and sell homes and raise my children and take care of my husband.
Yeah. But then you also moved into a new time strategy.
Yes.
We quit cooking. We did Ubers only.
We really, and he helped me realize it, not only the art of delegation, but
Time is
that
money.
time is money.
Yeah.
Yeah, our life becomes extreme time management over a period of time, and you figure out how to delegate, and you figure out how to sharpshoot, and you count what scores the most points every day,
Yep.
and you work through that. And I'm thankful, obviously not on the medical side, the business side with COVID. It pushed all of us to probably become who we wouldn't have come if that wouldn't have happened.
No doubt.
It made us grow more muscle. It showed us the muscle that we had, whether you're an individual or a team. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember stuff was coming in left and right through the windows, and
Yep.
we're like, dude, you got to pick and choose stuff here and there, and it
Yep.
pushed you to a level, burnout, frustration, but
Yep.
but everyone grew.
Well, it exposed the strong and the weak.
For sure.
You know?
So people like you, like her, that are built for it, it really pushes you to that spot to where you have to like take a deep breath and put your cape on.
Yep.
But you soared and you continue to do it, and what you're doing now is a result. So you grew as a person. Talk about team growth. What did that look like? How did that happen? And talk about like transactions, families helped, all that stuff.
Yeah. I went from a small boutique firm in Portland, Oregon. I was only licensed in Oregon at the time, and I obtained reciprocity in Washington State. And then we kind of came upon this opportunity to uproot ourselves from the Pacific Northwest, relocate to both Miami and the greater Phoenix area, Scottsdale. So I was like, okay, well, I love what I do. I'm going to work on building a team so that I have loyal agents I trust to give the business to when I'm not there. And so that's where the team growth piece came from. The independent growth came from me then getting licensed in Florida and in Arizona because I want to be producing where I live.
Yeah.
In Texas next.
Yeah, I got your cowboy hat coming.
We're coming.
Matching
via Texas.
cowboy hats are coming.
Let's go,
The minute
man.
y'all touch down.
Let's go.
I got them.
Yeah, seriously. It's 150 hours is no joke, but it's not something I haven't done before. I don't even want to know how many total hours I'm at in those various states. But yeah, I mean, I was an independent agent. I was with a boutique firm, and I got to this point. It was the law of the lid. Same thing
Yeah.
in residential real estate this time. I, capped out very quickly. I was the top, I don't know, maybe 3 agents in the office. So I wasn't the top, but I was at a point where I said, okay, I need to challenge myself more. And I don't know what that looks like, but I got to figure it out quick. So I transferred over to Sotheby's, Cascade Sotheby's up in the Pacific Northwest, which had a cap that was like double what I was used to paying, all these extra royalty fees, all these other things, the promise of luxury, et cetera, et cetera. And it was smoke and mirrors. And I wasn't able to work on my personal brand.
Yeah.
And that was something that he had been helping me work really hard toward in the last, I think, just 6 months prior to that move. So I was with Sotheby's long enough to cap out, and which was, I think, 3 months. And I thought, this is not the forever home that I thought it was going to be. And I need a change, and I need to do something different. And I want to figure it out by June. This was just last year. Damn. So I kind of grew a small team. Okay. I had one gal who came with me almost everywhere I went. And that's a little fun story, too. She and I go way, way back on a personal level. But she's still with me today. Cool. She then left Sotheby's and came with me over to EXP. And I didn't even know at the time that EXP was the answer for me, because I was like, oh, I got to investigate brokerages again. I feel like I'm a brand new agent going to interview all over again. And Elena Cardone got licensed and joined EXP. And it was this big thing. And Grant obviously has a giant megaphone. And I thought, that is a perfect opportunity. You know, why not? We were in the 10X network already, and he was working for Cardone Ventures, and let's keep it in the family. Yeah. So I named Elena as my sponsor. I joined EXP, and I'll be hitting a year with EXP next month.
Way to go.
Now, and so within the first 6 months of this past year, I grew very quickly. 30 agents, 4 states. Everyone's like, are you getting licensed in every state? And I'm like, oh my God, no. I'd be so, no.
No, not the strategy. You know, we are technically, we are going to get licensed in Texas because we like some of the lead gen opportunities when we get licensed in those states, and we got team members in Texas, and so, and we are planning. I'm throwing it into the ethos.
Throw it out there.
We are
if you don't
planning.
say it, it's not going to happen,
Correct.
right?
We're planning to get here.
Okay.
We've been talking about this literally for years.
Okay.
Well, Buck's been talking about it his entire life because he was actually born in Port Arthur.
Texas. Yeah.
Really? Down south?
Yeah, down south.
Yeah,
Born down. My
like,
dad
it's
was First
basically-
Baptist, the preacher of First Baptist Port Arthur.
Got it. So you got some
it's-
Texas roots. You know what's
yeah.
up. I can't hear your
Basically
twang, and you don't
Louisiana.
say y'all enough, but you'll get
No,
back
but
to
if you
it.
listen to the tapes when I was a kid,
Got it.
I'm like, Buck had 3 syllables. Boo. You know what I mean? It was like, it was like I had it.
Nice.
And when my dad has it, obviously.
Yeah.
And so when I call and I talk to him, she'll laugh because it comes out.
Nice.
You know?
Good.
He'll get off the
Brings it.
phone and he'll be like, hey, what's for dinner? And I'm like, were you talking to your dad?
Right.
It just comes out.
Yeah.
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 But he's always wanted. Texas it's in his heart, right?
Dude,
That's
it's
where
the
he was born.
fastest growing real estate in the country.
Trust me. I know. I feel it. It's awesome. I dig
Yeah.
the state. There's
Yeah.
just, most of everything here is good. The people, the climate, the taxes, the
Yeah.
sports, the jobs, fill in the blank. It's why everybody's
It's just the
running here.
traffic, right? That's what everybody complains about.
Right.
Is
weren't-
that the big one?
It is.
Yeah.
We just weren't prepared for the stretch.
No.
And everybody's hacking away,
Oof.
trying to figure it out, move roads, get it all going, leave a little later, leave a little earlier,
Yeah.
work a little remote here and there just to like give us some
Ease it
breathing
up.
room.
Yeah.
It's a good problem to have.
That is.
Better stretching this way than crumbling like an old school, respectfully Detroit or something here and
Yeah,
there. You
true.
want your city moving that way.
True.
Because you at least know it's greener pastures. So it's like, okay, cool. We'll take that
Deal
for
with it.
now. Deal
Yep.
with it. Right. Just learn again. Learn how to navigate it, get it going. So
Yeah, great.
luckily not everybody is, now agents sometimes are showing houses, making moves here and there. So you got to build in some cushion when you're doing showings and all that.
Yep.
But a lot of people through COVID are working remote. They're
Yep.
doing a hybrid deal. So they're not banging it out 5 days a week,
Yeah.
fighting traffic 1 hour each way. The city's making moves as fast as they can. But I mean, when you outkick your coverage, like
Yeah.
you can only pull so many permits and have so many people out there with jackhammers moving it.
Makes sense.
Other than that, though, I mean, people are just still flocking here. I don't think it's going to stop for a while. So when you guys are ready, toot your horn, dude. I'm ready to back you up.
We'll be here. No question.
Let me ask you a couple other quick, easy things about the personal branding stuff. So you guys mentioned this in the beginning that people struggle with it a ton, even in the mortgage space. Like the mortgage space is nerdy and flat and like it's old and yucky.
Very transactional.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it's just, kind of like some old school agents. It's run by like flyers and neon balloons. And
Yeah.
it's just so behind.
Yeah.
So talk to me about, for you, I guess, especially, why do you think so many people struggle with just getting their personal brand going?
Because they don't know where to start.
Okay.
It's, personal branding. People think, they hear the word branding and they think of a color scheme and a logo. And
Website.
Yeah, it is that, but it's so much more than that. It's really the digital understanding of who you are as a person and as a professional. And so, like you were talking about earlier, it gives us a way to know you before we get to know you.
Right.
I want to learn so much, and Buck talks about to know me is to love me. I would be doing my clients a massive disservice if I came to the closing table with a bottle of wine and they don't drink alcohol.
Sure.
So I think branding's a big part of that. Personal branding, though, it's really all about, in the transactional space, not just building relationships with our clients, but understanding them, knowing them, and making sure that at the end of the day, it's our name, our face, and the way we treated them that they remember. They don't have any reason to remember EXP or Remax or Keller Williams or Sotheby's.
Sure.
Like those big brands, sure, they're helpful and they all have something different to offer, but at the end of the day, it's Allie Wise who helped them.
Yeah.
Not whatever brokerage I'm with at the time.
I get it.
It's Brian McCauley who helped them get their mortgage and get the best interest rate and the best loan structure for the home that they were buying at that given time in their lives. Not necessarily Fairway Independent Mortgage. And that's a lot to say. No one's gonna remember.
No, but I get it.
Yeah.
And this day and age, it's kind of like if you and I, good analogy, be select an attorney, you just assume the law firm is okay because that person knows they're on the back end, but I'm selecting Buck the attorney, Allie the attorney. It's
Right.
not 10, 15 years ago where the company has all the pull and the swag. The personal standpoint of that is starting to move up in the space where people are starting to pay attention to the person versus the company. And I think that piece is really crucial, and you guys are way ahead of it. For the people that are struggling, especially with all y'all's experience, I hear it in the mortgage space, agent space, I share stuff with people all the time, do this, do that. 1 or 2 easy tips, takeaways that people feel comfortable doing, just saying like, how do I get started on the basic 101 to just baby step?
Yeah, sure. First, self-limiting belief is the first thing you have to overcome. You have to overcome the fact that you aren't that person. There's a great book I'm reading right now, actually, Atomic Habits. Have you heard
I
that?
listen to the podcast.
It's so great. It's so great.
Yep.
And, I'm in the chapter right now where they talk about, transforming the habits. If there's 2 smokers, have you heard this one? If there's 2 smokers that are both trying to quit, I ask both of them, do you want a cigarette? The first one says, nope, I'm trying to quit. The second one says, nope, I'm not a smoker. That's the difference.
Of course.
The mindset of, I'm not a content creator.
Correct.
The mindset of, I don't know what I'm doing. The mindset of, I'll never get good at this. The mindset is, other people do this better. The mindset of, my ex-boyfriend, my ex-girlfriend are going to laugh at me. My family's going to ask me, what do you think? You're an influencer now? Like, those are the thoughts people have right before they open up the camera. So the first step is to overcome and start to believe, to have that self-belief. And the way you overcome it is repetition.
Yeah.
So the fail fast mantra, you've got to do it repeatedly over and over and over. The second thing I would say is, as you start to create this content, is really think about who you're talking to. Too many times content is created. This is just a quick technical advice for someone that's like, okay, but what do I do?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Speak on it.
You think of everyone that's watching when really it's just that one person that you need to watch. I hope your ex-boyfriend's watching. And guess what? It's not going to relate to him because you're not talking to him. So I hope he unfollows. I hope he quits watching. You don't want them to watch. You need to talk directly to who you're talking to. The same way Brian and I are talking right now. You have to have a one-on-one conversation. There's no such thing as an Instagram live viewing party.
Right.
People don't absorb content in group settings. They absorb it one-on-one. So, when you think about having that one-on-one conversation, the biggest mistake everybody always makes is they open up. Remember, in Instagram, you have 2 seconds. The average time spent on one asset, take your phone and you flick it like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's the average time somebody spends.
True.
They're just looking like this, right?
Right.
So you've got to make impact fast. And you start with this. Hey, everyone. Right? Hey, everybody. This is like the typical influencer opening.
Sure.
Right? Because you've got such a big audience. You're talking to everyone. You're not.
Right.
It's like, hey, there's scientifically proven you will create more engagement. 62%, I think, is the number, more engagement by using the words you in the first 2 seconds. You know what I was thinking today? I was thinking about you
There's
today.
your tactic. Start with you.
That's it. Yeah. It's, hey, I was thinking about you today. And I know you're on this journey to find a home, or, you're growing. Your kids left for college, and now you're thinking, should I downsize? I don't want to keep up the maintenance of my house anymore. You're having a conversation with the empty nester. You're having a conversation with the luxury buyer. You're having a conversation with the investor. You're having a singular conversation with them.
Right.
And so that's the best advice I could give without getting super technical on a format,
Okay.
which is what Allie and I do. We're traveling the country for Personal Branding Live.
Sure.
If you'd like to sign up, personalbrandinglive.com. We did one in Arizona. We're doing one in Dallas. We've got another one in Orlando, Charlotte, Detroit.
Right.
We're going to kind of hit the country. We go through a sort of format that you can follow. But the biggest thing I would say is repetition, self-belief, create impact, and have a singular conversation with the person you're trying to attach to.
Such good takeaways. So if people get that in their head and they're like, okay, I got the tactics. You mentioned it earlier. How do they stay consistent? Is it accountability? Is it time blocking? What's that trick once they're over? Like, okay, I know how to kind of talk to the person. Hey, you, the empty nester. But they only hit it on Monday and then they go away.
Yeah.
How's the consistency piece weave into that second place?
Well, two things to think about. Number one, if trust is the ultimate factor in conversion, how much do they trust you when they see you the first time talking about you needing something or having a challenge, and then they don't see you again for another week, another month? The trust factor falls away. When they see that you're committed to yourself and that you're on there every day relentlessly, they're more likely to commit to you. They need you to commit to yourself first. So that's why we say consistency. Do not expect to do this for a week and then start closing big deals.
People totally notice too, because they're like, man, you're killing it. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. They might not know what else you're doing in life other than you're putting out a lot of content online.
Yeah, so consistency is the key. The other thing that you have to think about is, I get that exact question. Buck, but I'm so busy. I'm building my CRM, and I created a new nurture campaign with a drip and automation. It's like, how am I supposed to make content? So you don't time. This is a big misnomer. You don't time block for content. Maybe someone, if you're watching this versus listening to this, then you noticed if they didn't edit this out. I actually shot content while we were on the podcast.
Yeah.
You build it into everything that you do. So when do I time block for content? You don't. You do it every hour. You do it with everything that you go to the store to buy milk. Content creation. Have you seen milk prices go up? I'm grabbing some right now. It's because of Russia.
Right. It's weaved into your daily life. It's
weave
not
it in.
specifically thought and time blocked all the time.
That's the problem. People try to compartmentalize it as a thing they got to do.
Yep.
It is a thing you have to do, but you should be doing it throughout your whole day.
It could simply be a conversation starter. It doesn't have to be something that's actually applicable to you. Buck used the example of, I'm so busy. I'm building out my CRM. I don't have time.
Talk about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk about it.
Right. Pull out your phone and say, hey, I'm building out my CRM. And, the more I think about it, I know that the best CRM is the one that you use, but I want to hear from you. What CRM do you use? And what do you like about it? And what are your challenges with it?
That's
Just
exactly
start a
it.
conversation.
Right.
Like, who cares if you like their response or not, or if you decide to switch CRMs or not?
Right.
You're talking with people.
Just engage.
Yeah, and the continuation, I think the variety. You can't bullseye everything about comps and mortgages and rates all the time from one desk and one stuff here and there. Like, people want to know you mess up. You got kiddos here and there. So weaving it into your daily life.
Yeah.
Whether it be gas, milk, traveling, success story from kids, or out to dinner, whatever.
Yeah.
People are connected to that piece too because it's real.
No doubt.
Everybody has that. And when you're too polished and too sharp and you don't have hiccups and you're not outside of the office, it's really hard to connect all the way.
It's true.
So to your point of yes, you can spit some game on real estate mortgage stuff here and there, but dude, people want to see you putting your son in a noogie.
The real deal.
They want to see you jumping in the pool and stuff here and there.
That's it.
And that piece is the thoughtless piece. It's here we go.
Yeah.
And that's how people stay consistent too.
It's the authenticity is in the relatability. I do that. I do the same thing. That's the biggest stuff I get is the most random the most random things. Everybody wants to engage. Like, oh, we did that one. Well, you know what you should try next time? You should do it like this.
Yeah.
People love to give their opinions and advice on things. But if you want to get super technical, at some point as you get really good at this, when you get comfortable, reach out. Because when you get comfortable, I'll give you the next steps.
Right.
But, you can start to build what we call content pillars and themes. So then, personal life, like our personal life is probably 15% of my content. I know that it screams when I do it, but it's like content pillars. Then you have, you do have your technical side. You've got your, you've got your, you break out your personas. Where, who are you talking to today? Because you're not always talking to the same persona.
No.
Sometimes you're talking to different personas.
Yeah, and I think that's good. I mean, one of the things I always loved Brady because he was a winner on the field. When he got older and mature and they did that documentary, The Man Off the Field, and I saw him with Giselle and the kids farting around and being real, it made me like him even more.
Yeah.
Because even though it was a documentary, it wasn't like from his iPhone, it's different level, but he showed a different side.
Right.
And I think showing all those sides just makes the human component even more like dramatic on who you are.
That's
so
right.
People know like, hey, that's the deal. So when people are struggling for consistency, yeah, dude, I'm sitting out by the fire.
Yep.
I'm talking to my kid. I'm doing this, whatever here and there. It's a good way to make sure you're staying consistent and a variety with a different look.
Yeah, because ultimately you gotta remember at the end of the day, what are we trying to do here? Are we trying to be authentic? We're trying to earn trust. We're trying to all these things are swirling in your head. You're just trying to meet more people.
Right.
That's it. That's what all these things add up to. You just I set a goal. I want to meet 5 new people every day that I didn't know. And I think I've had almost 5 new people every day since January. I think some days I've gone a little bit less, but I'm searching hashtags. I'm tapping into other people's networks. I'm just looking for people that I don't know. And I got 120 agents here in Dallas where you're going to be speaking with us at Personal Branding Live. And I don't know any of them. 120 new agents.
Love it. Love it. It's good, dude. All right, so last question. You guys have killed it with the personal branding, done that. Give me some people you guys look up to who you think are cool personal brandings online. Like every time they post something, you're like, I like that.
Nice. Go for it. Well, you've got your mentors. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Ryan Serhant, Grant Cardone. I like learning from, and this is the credibility and authenticity piece. Nicole Arbor. She's she's hired by the YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook creator teams. She just knows her stuff, and she's got a powerful story. She went viral not being able to walk. She had a almost life-threatening car accident and basically said, well, I'm going to just put content out there, and went big. So, and she's kind of one of those no-filter type people, and I just really admire her level of authenticity, which has now turned into credibility. Danelle Delgado is a big one for me.
Okay.
She's the Millionaire Matchmaker. She's all about building teams, and she's really big into nurturing people and building and maintaining relationships. So that's what I love about her, but I could go on. I have a lot of people that I look up to. And
Yeah, this is good. No, I mean, that to know who the heroes, who their hero is and stuff online, it's cool to see.
Yeah.
You?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Like, there's no question. Grant Cardone, so much respect for what he's done. He's a promotions beast. I always joked I am a classically trained marketer. He is guerrilla warfare. Like, he is boots on the ground. Did it his way. Didn't need to be trained. Found out his own way. His success metric, if you look at the amount of promotion online and his net worth, go hand in hand.
Right.
The more he spent in paid media, the more his net worth went up. The more people he knew, the more he attracted to him. He's just, he's a promotion beast. I love Ryan Serhant. I think what he's built from a personal brand standpoint is pretty amazing.
It's remarkable.
I honestly, I've got a lot of respect for Glenn, who's the CEO of EXP.
Glenn Sanford.
He's working on building out multiple his personal brand and multiple other brands that he's been building. He's a massive billionaire who I look up to, who I'm very fond of. But really, what gets me most excited, it's interesting because there's the whole. I think everybody knows that echelon of hustlers. The Damon Johns, the Grant Cardones. Like, you go on YouTube, you can see all the guys. They're all on there. The Gary V's, whatever.
That's my guy. That's who, in 2017, when I saw him, I was just like, that guy is everywhere all the time.
Yeah.
and he could have said whatever in the cab stuff here and there, but he was so ahead of the curve.
So ahead of the curve.
He was so ahead of the curve. And I
Yeah.
thought to myself, like, why can't I just like do that in the mortgage space? It's so flat and terrible. And so
Yeah.
far behind. That was
Yeah.
the first spark I had.
Yeah.
I didn't really get going for a while, but those dudes so far ahead of it, they're reaping all the benefit. They're still leading the race.
Yeah.
People are trying to catch up, but all those people you guys mentioned are just incredible. You guys are on your way. I'm just peeking around the corner and saying, oh, I like that. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to do all that. I'm like,
Nice.
hey, Joey, let's do this.
That's, you know, I was going to say, I like the micro market winners. I like looking into, there's always the 3-4 winners in every market. And they're not the Gary V's.
Right.
They're not the, but they could be,
Right.
but they're the Gary V's in their network.
Yeah.
And so I love coming into Dallas, and I know we've got a couple high performers we're going to be meeting. And so you're one of them, man.
I'm just trying to win my
you're right
space
there,
right now and
you
figure
know?
it out slowly but surely. But
You're
I'm
doing
getting
it.
there.
You're doing. I just want to be here for it. You know, I want to draft.
Yeah, for sure.
You
We're
know?
gonna- well, you're moving to Texas anyway, so we're going to link up and hang out all the time.
That's
you guys
right.
meet my wife and my kid and chill, so
Nice.
you're not going to be able to get away from it.
Nice.
Man,
Love
dude,
it.
I appreciate you guys. This is sick info, so valuable. I appreciate the time. For everybody that's like listening and watching, if you aren't inspired, I want to turn over this table, shoot some more content, hang out and kick it. These guys are great. They've shared so many nuggets. Follow them online, give them some love. Obviously, whatever platform you guys are listening on right now, we're on all platforms. You can see it up here hanging out. So go like, share, comment, do all that fun stuff. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Until next time, stay tuned.